Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Sunday, August 22nd, at 3:26 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 574 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. These updating maps show where Storm Henri could hit hardest. COVID, New Zealand pandemic strategy and down to Delta spread. We spoke to hundreds of prison gang members. Here's what they said about life behind bars. White mobs rioted in Washington in 1848 to defend slaveholders' rights after 76 black enslaved people staged an unsuccessful mass escape on a boat. A Miami paramedic had sex with a patient. He lost his license, but that's not exactly why. Teen found shot to death on porch Saturday evening in Kansas City, police say. What's wrong with Arizona's 2020 audit? A lot, experts say. Op-ed, we learn to love math when we realize it's not meant to be useful. Border Patrol agents warn of morale collapse amid crisis, downtrodden, almost dead inside. Letters to the editor, those gorgeous herds of wild horses are non-native and destroying the West. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Kylie Jenner pregnant updates, Travis Scott seen for first time since baby news as Stormy can't wait to be the U.S. Sun. Tracking Henri, tropical storm warnings in effect across tri-state, flash flooding and storm surges expected, CBS New York. Defense Secretary orders 6 commercial airlines to help ferry Afghan refugees, The New York Times. GOP congressman places blame on Trump admin for crisis in Afghanistan, they set this up to fail, CNN. Biden's national security advisor says ISIS threat against Kabul airport is real and acute, CNN. Here are the country's cheapest airports to park at, and where rideshares and transit are better bets, CNBC. Dawn Everly of Everly Brothers dead at 84, TMZ. A beautiful feeling, refugee women in Germany learn the joy of riding bikes, NPR. President Biden's job approval ratings drop as COVID cases rise and crisis in Afghanistan mounts, CNBC. Lions vs. Steelers snap count observations, Detroit gives hints to upcoming cuts, prettyoffdetroit.com. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Conservative, vaccine skeptic talk radio host dead after contracting COVID-19. Bolsonaro's own version of January 6 now feels inevitable in Brazil. Henri weakens to tropical storm ahead of northeast landfall. At least 8 killed in Tennessee flash floods, dozens missing. Israeli military wounds 24 Palestinians in Gaza clash. Jesse Jackson Sr. and Jacqueline Jackson test positive for COVID-19. Sha'Carri Richardson places 9th in first race in suspension over drug test. Don't use horse and cow medicine to treat COVID-19, FDA warns. SeaWorld's youngest orca dies suddenly. U.S. administers 1 million vaccine doses for third straight day. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Woman's COVID-19 battle changes vaccine stance. Photo surfaces of police chief making hand gesture. Clothes store growing while paying it forward. Fall armyworms destroying Oklahoma lawns. Mother fed up at city ignoring lead paint issues. Lake rescue underway after father falls off tube. Boy steer SUV after father shot while driving. Women's craft group going strong after 40 years. 91-year-old veteran celebrates birthday by going down giant slide. Man wants to help interpreter get family out of Afghanistan. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. U.S. orders airlines to help transport evacuees fleeing Taliban. A starry Central Park comeback concert is silenced by lightning. Hurricane Henri is downgraded to a tropical storm. COVID cases overwhelm Gulf Coast, prompting shortage of ICU beds. Tennessee flash floods, at least 10 dead and dozens missing. Desperation as Afghans seek to flee a country retaken by the Taliban. The world's last Samaritans, straddling the Israeli-Palestinian divide. Don Everly, older brother and groundbreaking rock duo, dies at 84. I am caught between the two worlds of the ICU and TV. The Sunday Read, The Case of the Vanishing Jungle. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. R. Kelly's ex-tour manager testifies he bribed a government worker so singer could marry then, underage Aaliyah. Britney Spears' dogs have been returned to her after concerns over their health care report. Top Biden aide Jake Sullivan says they still don't know how many Americans are in Afghanistan. Wisconsin police officer critically wounded, suspect killed during traffic stop. Lion stares, growls at nature guide from outside a kitchen window, video. Blinken admits Al-Qaeda not gone from Afghanistan despite Biden's claim. Biden approval ratings dip in new public opinion poll. Stolen James Bond Goldfinger Aston Martin DB5 is likely in the Middle East, Sleuth says. Henri barrels toward northeast as tropical storm, with dangerous surge on the way. Andrew Velazquez's first home run adds to surreal Yankees story. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Sunday, August 22nd. The next headlines are from the eighth most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Children's book with same-sex couples is challenging anti-LGBT+ laws in Russia. Hurricane is downgraded to a tropical storm but Weather Service warns threat remains the same. Military planes evacuating Afghans drop flares amid fears of ISIS missile attacks. Biden's aides too afraid to quiz him over key decisions made in run-up to U.S.-Afghan withdrawal. Blair brands Biden an imbecile over unnecessary decision to quit Afghanistan. Shocking moment, driver crashes into parked vehicle at car meet leaving 5 seriously injured. Boris Johnson and pregnant wife Carrie are spotted at Italian restaurant. Venice plans to charge tourists up to €10 and require them to book a time slot to visit center. Moment, Donald Trump is booed at Alabama rally after encouraging his supporters to take the vaccine. Vet who cares for Geronimo refusing to put animal down amid reprisal fears from animal activists. The following headlines are from the ninth most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is The Washington Post World News Feed. Montenegrins protest inauguration of new Serbian church head. Japanese FM discusses de-escalation with Iranian officials. Hive updates, Pentagon orders commercial airlines to provide planes. Haiti raises earthquake death toll, passes 2,200. Qatar to hold first ever advisory Shura Council vote October 2nd. Israel taps former settler leader as new head of Yad Vashem. Afghan refugee goes into labor on U.S. evacuation flight, gives birth on landing. Taliban's rhetoric of compromise carries echoes of its previous rise to power. How to help Afghan refugees and those trapped during the Taliban takeover. Amid sharp criticism, Germany stumbles in late efforts to rescue Afghan support staff. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Arsenal v Chelsea, Premier League, Live. Full FDA approval of Pfizer COVID shot will enable vaccine requirements. Mason Greenwood earns Manchester United draw at Southampton. Pentagon orders commercial airlines to help in Afghanistan evacuations. Dawn Everly obituary. At least 10 dead and dozens missing in Tennessee floods. Tony Blair, Afghanistan exit gives opportunities to UK's enemies. The show did not go on. Storm thwarts Central Park concert celebrating city's COVID comeback. Josephine Baker to become first black woman to enter France's pantheon. Henri weakens to tropical storm as U.S. Northeast braces for impact. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. 7 killed at Kabul airport, fighters seize areas from Taliban. On Real Hive updates, system weakens from hurricane to tropical storm. At least 10 killed in Tennessee flash floods, dozens missing. Henri cuts short man low set at NYC virus recovery concert. Large events cancel due to Delta variant, wallop states' economies. U.S. must vaccinate Americans and the rest of the world for pandemic to end, Murthy. First cruise ship from California in months heads to Mexico. Radio host who regretted vaccine skepticism dies of COVID. 10 dead, dozens missing in unbelievable flooding. Philly escapes racetrack, runs on Kentucky highway. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Everly Brothers, U.S. rock and roll star Don Everly dies aged 84. Storm Henri, U.S. East Coast warned of significant damage. Afghanistan, where will refugees go after Taliban takeover? Afghanistan, woman gives birth on U.S. evacuation plane. Kenya holds biggest ever animal census. Algeria's desperate wildfire fight, buckets and branches. Dorothy Butler Gilliam, I am not a maid, I am a reporter. Hurricane Grace kills 8 as it rips through eastern Mexico. Elaine Thompson-Herah runs second fastest time in women's 100 history. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Life-threatening, tropical storm Henri could slam parts of Northeast with up to 10 inches of rain. Phil Valentine, Tennessee radio host who was a vaccine skeptic, dies of COVID at 61. At least 14 dead, dozens missing in Tennessee, North Carolina flooding. De Blasio declares Henri emergency in NYC. Wildfires are burning up trees meant to fight climate change, it's definitely not working. No vaccination, Americans back tough rules and mask mandates to protect the common good. Barry Manilow set cut short as Hurricane Henri thwarts Central Park concert. Hurricane Henri on track to hit Northeast, Cuomo declares state of emergency for NYC, Long Island. Multiple people dead, dozens missing amid catastrophic flooding in Tennessee, North Carolina. Florida's COVID surge a crisis of unprecedented proportions, doctor says, school districts battle for masks, latest COVID-19 updates. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. California recall reality, Newsom could be replaced by candidate with far fewer votes. 2 youth group members hospitalized because of suspected illegal substance near Venice Boardwalk. Light rain, cool temperature set some records in Southern California, heavy surf advisory remains in effect. Calder fire near Sacramento burns dozens more structures as firefighters face increasingly difficult conditions. Ventura County enacts indoor mask order as hospitalizations jump. For many Afghan refugees, the struggles don't end when they reach U.S. soil. As California burns, some ecologists say it's time to rethink forest management. How Trump-hating California got a slate of recall candidates who supported Trump. Ex-Angels employee charged in Tyler Skaggs' death supplied other MLB players with drugs, feds say. Suspect arrested in security breach that prompted John Wayne Airport evacuation. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. American woman trapped in Kabul and plea for help. I'm really scared. They're going door to door looking for individuals who worked with the U.S. military, Afghan military, law enforcement, foreigners, high-rank Afghans, families, people who helped out U.S. troops. Taliban commander released from Guantanamo told them he was just a shopkeeper. Israel finds COVID-19 vaccine booster significantly lowers infection risk. Australian Senate poised to pass bill banning imports made using forced labor. Australian foreign policy. Lebanon raises fuel prices by 66% as it tries to ease shortages. The death toll in the major earthquake that struck Haiti on August 14 has risen to 2,207, authorities said Sunday, as gang attacks on aid convoys have complicated efforts to bring relief to survivors. Afghan civil war unavoidable if Taliban refuse talks, says opposition leader. Afghanistan. Biden's national security advisor says ISIS threat against Kabul airport is real and acute. A thrilling sign, researchers discover secret colony of highly endangered marmots on Vancouver Island. Putin rejects idea of evacuating people from Afghanistan to nearby countries, saying he doesn't want militants showing up here under cover of refugees. Afghanistan's Massoud refuses to surrender to Taliban, warns of war. Ancient Christian settlement in Egypt shows evidence of urban planning. The arrival of the highly infectious Delta variant has raised some big questions about New Zealand's pandemic response, a minister has said. Out of control, Brazilian Amazon deforestation hits highest level in a decade. From August 2020 to July 2021, 10,476 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest were destroyed, a 57% increase over the previous 12-month period. Boris Johnson has called for G7 leaders to meet on Tuesday for urgent talks on the situation in Afghanistan. The next headlines are from Forbes. Here's what two journalists told me, in real time, about their escape from Afghanistan. Biden reveals discussions about extending August 31st Afghanistan withdrawal deadline. GM's $1.8 billion Chevy Bolt recall shows why automakers' F rollouts could be on fire. Despite the pandemic, renewables soared again in 2020. Since trade deadline, Yankees have hit a home run with TV and streaming numbers. WWE SummerSlam 2021, Brock Lesnar's return epitomizes everything that is wrong with the company. Coffee and clothes gives brands a jolt of energy. Poll shows 81% of Americans support taking in Afghans who assisted U.S. Tropical storm Henri, storm weakens after making landfall but causes widespread power outages, flooding. States with school mask mandate bans likely won't lose federal funding, Education Secretary suggests, but will face investigations. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,726,574,871 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Free Guy is the rare movie this summer that gets to be an only in theaters hit. Do you think other movies are jealous? Column. Boiling Point director on capturing the alcoholism, drug abuse and stress of high-end kitchens with a Stephen Graham film. Bruce Springsteen was in his dressing room, We Love NYC producer on the effort to keep the concert going. Fox News says it evacuated 24 people from Afghanistan. Serbian director Stefan Arsenijevic on contemporary refugee story As Far as I Can Walk. Rachel Maddow renews MSNBC deal. Wanda Jackson and producer Joan Jett on the Rockabilly Queens encore and whether it's really the end of the road. Self-review, grown-ups misbehave at a child's birthday party in this enjoyably chaotic Serbian comedy. Michaela Cole, Norman Lear and Steve McQueen accept special awards at 2021 AAFCA TV Honors. Box office, Paw Patrol crushes Hugh Jackman's reminiscence as Free Guy remains number 1. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Biden touts incredible evacuation operation from Kabul, but warns of ongoing danger. Flash flooding in Tennessee has left at least 10 people dead and dozens more missing. Dawn Everly, half of the quintessential harmonic duo the Everly Brothers, dies at 84. The Pentagon is calling on 6 U.S. airlines to help with the Afghan evacuation effort. A beautiful feeling, refugee women in Germany learn the joy of riding bikes. Moving inland, tropical storm Henri drenches northeast. How rape affects memory and the brain, and why more police need to know about this. They faced racial bias in military discipline that can impact national security. This is how the white population is actually changing based on new census data. Facebook's most viewed article in early 2021 raised doubt about COVID vaccine. The following headlines are from The Week. GOP's Sassy says Biden is drifting into hostage situation in Afghanistan. South a harbinger for rest of U.S. as schools reopen, former FDA commissioner warns. National Security Advisor, U.S. taking terrorism threat at Kabul airport deadly seriously. Breakthrough infections may be less transmissible, study suggests. Broad support across American political spectrum for helping Afghan translators enter U.S., poll finds. Civilian air fleet activated for just third time in history to aid Afghanistan evacuation. COVID-19 is sticking around, America should plan accordingly. Vaccinated only need apply. The Biden advice Afghanistan's Ghani reportedly didn't take. Vietnam vet, evacuee says Kabul withdrawal makes Saigon seem as orderly as audience exiting an opera. The next headlines are from Universe Today. SpaceX thinks it can send humans to the moon sooner than 2024. Astronomy Jargon 101, Standard Candles. The Milky Way broke one of its arms. These are the news headlines for today, Sunday, August 22nd. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Unexpected Perseid outburst floods cameras, rouse viewers. Blockchains work like DNA in cells, scientists say. Voyager 2 confirms Neptune's rings visited 8 in 1989. Sun Regulus in conjunction August 23rd. Mercury from southern hemisphere, now through September. A-74 iceberg near collision with Brund ice shelf. The next news is from Politico. Sweden's prime minister to resign in November. Merkel's conservatives hit record low in poll as German election nears. Ukraine insists Nord Stream 2 is dangerous despite German reassurances. Just watching with horror, a photographer in Afghanistan on the eve of collapse. Biden confirms U.S. has extended perimeter around Kabul airport. 9 of 10 fastest growing districts rep by Republicans, census data shows. States cannot block federal funds for districts that mandate masks, Education Secretary says. A posthumous message on bipartisanship, there's value in people you don't agree with. Polls show Biden's approval rating sliding to new lows. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Australian News Live, tougher restrictions as NSW, Victoria COVID-19 cases continue to grow. Boris Johnson to confront Joe Biden at G7 meeting on Afghanistan withdrawal. Bulk carrier with COVID-infected crew to arrive in Perth early on Monday. Afghan interpreter Abdul served the coalition in hope for change. Now, from his suburban Australian home, he watches his country collapse. Dominant party cruises to victory in Cincinnati final. Risk and instability, Afghanistan seen as weak link for China's Belt and Road Initiative. Biggest flex, I'm fully vaxxed, is vaccine talk the new sexting? Dancer Josephine Baker to be first black woman honored with burial in France's Pantheon. Whalen and dealing to the top of ANZ's banking ranks. ASX set to rise as Wall Street's Fed jitters wane. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Living with climate change, think your house is fully insured against hurricane damage? Beware of these policy loopholes. The Wall Street Journal, Rachel McDowell's multi-year deal to stay with MSNBC. Newswatch, investors await taper clues as Fed moves Jackson Hole online due to Delta variant. I'm 57 and my new husband is 80. I'm not on the deed of his house. Instead, he gave me a credit card with a $1,000 spending limit. The moneyest, my stepson bought a home with his now ex-girlfriend. It doubled in value to $400K. She is willing to accept $50K. Should I intervene? Retire better. More Americans have $1 million saved for retirement than ever before. Retirement Weekly, how to put your child tax credit to work for the future. Retirement Weekly, why alternative investments belong in 401k plans. Retirement Weekly, how to extend your life by as much as 2 years. Sustainable investing, ESG investors struggle to find the right balance in doing good, and solar panels show why. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Hail Peter Corby, the trouser press king, yet another British gadget genius, The Times. One man's quest to get an AI machine a patent gathers momentum, Yahoo Finance. Annovation's Patent Shelter is the first AI platform to bring inventors and investors together for IPR protection and successful monetization, Yahoo India News. Rocket range will shatter our peaceful lives, The Advertiser. QU's environment encourages invention and innovation, The Peninsula Coder. The next headlines are from Quartz. China is applying industrial policy to winning gold at the Winter Olympics. The U.S. is using a Cold War rule to airlift Afghan evacuees. Nigerian founder fears TikTok's new megastar, gaming investment. Experts are terrible at predicting the falling cost of clean energy. Why is OnlyFans letting payment companies lure it away from porn? Booster shots will decrease breakthrough infections for the immunocompromised. Weekend brief, funding the Taliban's Afghanistan. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Funniest most insightful comments of the week at Tech Dirt. This week in Tech Dirt history, August 15, 21st. Edvard Eriksson estate goes after another Danish city for having a mermaid statue. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Miguel Cabrera. Matt Gates. Southampton vs Man United. Atlanta Falcons. Chelsea. Reverend Jesse Jackson. Dawn Everly. Dak Prescott. Dallas Cowboys. Tennessee Titans. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Pentagon activates rarely used civil aircraft reserve to speed up evacuation as Taliban blames U.S. for chaos at Kabul airport. Biden stands by hard and painful evacuation from Kabul, could back sanctions on Taliban depending on the context. I am doing it. Ukraine's first ever Olympic gold medalist Biel renounces citizenship in favor of U.S. Citing COVID threat, Australian council shot shelter dogs dead instead of allowing volunteers to collect them. At least 21 dead in Tennessee floods as dozens remain missing after torrential rains. Morale among downtrodden Border Patrol agents plummets as Biden policies leave them unable to protect national security, report. Ukraine must be ready, Merkel tells Kyiv you won't be using Russian gas by 2046, Zelensky wants weapons and help to build up navy. Same old story, Chelsea icon Drogba hails Romelu Lukaku's impact as Belgium bags goal and dominant showing against Arsenal. Mandatory vaccination shouldn't be forced on anyone, Putin declares, arguing people should just be encouraged to get jab instead. Russian sensation Chimiev set for Octagon return after COVID enforced absence with spot on stacked UFC 267 card. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Senator Joe Manchin dares to admit the coal industry has to be saved. At least 22 dead, 50 missing after deadliest flood event ever in Middle Tennessee. WikiLeaks reviews some of its greatest hits leaks on Afghanistan. The new censors, polls shows almost half of Americans favor government censoring misinformation. Australia rethinks COVID strategy after cases hit record despite draconian lockdowns. Russian military hails Syria's successful intercepts of 22 of 24 missiles in latest Israeli attack. Watch Live, President tries again to defend his farcical exit strategy from Afghanistan. Key cryptocurrency developments and updates in the last week. Pentagon unaware of State Department security alert telling Americans not to come to Kabul airport. Ultimate insult, Taliban mocks historic Iwo Jima flag-raising moment with own photo. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Taliban says hundreds of fighters heading to take Panjshir Valley. Palestinians in Gaza pledge to defy Israel to protest at border. U.S., several killed in Tennessee floods, dozens missing. Gangs operate as Haiti earthquake death toll crosses 2,200. Who stands to benefit from the U.S.'s exit from Afghanistan? Tropical storm Henri bears down on U.S. East Coast. How is a state of siege changing Eastern Dr. Congo? Nigeria, bandits release 15 students after parents pay ransom. Israeli inquiry into deadly Mount Meron stampede begins hearings. All Afghans should feel safe under Taliban, says security chief. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Martina Navratilova mocks vax skeptic radio host who died of coronavirus. Joe Biden, history will judge me as logical, rational, and right on Afghanistan. Joe Biden, a lot could still go wrong with Afghanistan evacuations. Watch, Andrew Cuomo lashes out at reporter for asking about scandals during hurricane briefing. Vulnerable Democrats attend RIPC DCCC fundraiser while Americans are trapped in Afghanistan. Report, State Department hit with cyber attack, extent of breach unclear. Watch Live, Joe Biden updates the nation on Afghanistan and hurricane. Sean Penn shames unvaccinated moviegoers, you cannot go around pointing a gun in somebody's face. Exclusive Senator Haggerty, completely incompetent Biden will screw up infrastructure just like Afghanistan. Portland police won't intervene in expected clashing protests, says chief. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. India bans long list of single-use plastics starting next July. German animal shelter posts Tinder profiles for lonely animals, hoping for a perfect match. Teen rescues bumblebee and now it won't leave her side even sleeping in a jar by her bed. Americans want to use less plastic and they hoard containers rather than tossing, poll shows. Man spots his dog on television that was missing for 2 years. He knew that infamous underbite. This week's inspiring horoscopes from Rob Bresney's Free Will Astrology. Breathing with this device for 5 minutes may lower blood pressure as much as exercise or drugs. Study. San Francisco Airport protects endangered species until it boasts more of them than any place on Earth. Police dog trained to find weapons aces special assignment of finding lost a diamond ring on a sandy beach. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Sunday, August 22nd. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. James McAvoy was so hooked on Oblivion he had to burn the disc. Evolution is now accepted by a majority of Americans. Sri Lanka bans drunk driving of elephants in new protection law. Video, guy napping mistaken for a dead body. Man hospitalized after taking livestock feed store ivermectin for COVID. Excommunicated Spanish witch village turns curse into tourist cash. Snail mail surprise for Hinkley parcel workers. Chrysler turbine car, why the government made Chrysler crush its jet cars. Kenya holds biggest ever animal census. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Master a variety of IT skills with this bundle of classes designed to get you certified. Learn the ins and outs of Microsoft Excel with this 12-course bundle of classes. TikTok partners with blockchain startup, and this could be good news for creators. Ignore what you've heard, techies make great CEOs. Protect your passwords with this management system and form filler. How a simple crystal could help pave the way to full-scale quantum computing. AI can now identify footprints, but forensic experts won't get fired just yet. Someone ported Super Mario 64 to play in a browser, again. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Here comes the sun, planetary scientists find evidence of solar-driven change on the moon. Cross-pollinating physicists use novel technique to improve the design of facilities that aim to harvest fusion energy. Researchers develop novel strategy for tuberculosis vaccine. Under the northern lights, mesospheric ozone layer depletion explained. Pulsar integrated radiotherapy with immunotherapy for improved tumor control. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Sunday, August 22nd from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Scott D. Pierce, Utah plays a major role in animated series designed to battle suicide. Maureen Dowd, a rough beast returns. Rise up and create miracles. Speakers at prayer vigil for Afghan refugees share how we can help. Dolly Parton and James Patterson are working 9 to 5 on a novel. Desperation in Afghanistan brings fear and hope in Utah. Robert Garrick explains how Utahns can help. Bus driver shortages are latest challenge hitting schools in Utah and across U.S. Bayou football coaches aren't saying who the starting quarterback is, but here's what one QB coach thinks. Rich Lowry, who will believe Joe Biden now? Leonard Pitts, tiny dots of men plummeting down from the sky. Accepting Afghan refugees may not be easy, but it should be done, the editorial board writes. The next headlines are from Slashdot, tech news for nerds. Are our smartphones making us dopamine addicts? U.S. health insurers caught negotiating worse rates than for those with no insurance. Samsung surpasses Intel to become top semiconductor manufacturer. Smartphone company alleged to be a scam defrauding 300 investors of $10 million. If remote work lasts 2 years, will employees ever return to offices? Climate change is making hurricanes worse. Could a black hole surrounded by energy harvesters really power a civilization? AI power tech put a 65-year-old in jail for almost a year despite insufficient evidence. $97 million stolen from Japanese crypto exchange. Will Isaac Asimov's foundation survive its transformation into a streaming series? The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. The first city in Missouri to reach 50% full vaccination is. Wainwright extends mastery of Pirates in Cardinals 3-0 win. Erratic driving upends Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Man killed after truck breaks down in traffic on I-44 in downtown. Local restaurant hosting trivia night to collect items for Afghan families coming to St. Louis. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile or U-Cellular, map shows which cell provider gives your area best coverage. Funeral held for 5 children who died in Metro East apartment fire. Cardinal Raymond Burke is taken off ventilator, returns to hospital room from intensive care unit. Car vaults off tow truck flatbed, worker dies after being struck on I-70. Warrenton woman dies, child seriously injured in single vehicle car crash. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Biden says U.S.-led evacuation from Kabul is accelerating. News Now, both coasts battered by severe weather events. Tropical storm Henri makes landfall in Rhode Island, thousands lose power. U.S. calls on airlines to provide planes for Afghanistan evacuations. El Cajon car crash victim had a whole future ahead of him, friend says. Bicyclist struck, killed on SR-78 in Escondido. San Francisco man dies while hiking in Death Valley. How to prove COVID-19 vaccination status in California. Petco Park's payment processing system experiences outage during game. Mayor's office hosts back-to-school event to help families in need. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. Ukraine's new Oplet tank breaks down in rehearsal parade. U.S. Marine Corps robotic launcher becomes global sensation. U.S. Navy awards contract to Austal to modernize East Coast-based littoral combat ships. U.S. Air Force takes next step with new, low-cost Skyborg combat drones. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Sunday, August 22, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Biden says U.S.-led evacuation from Kabul is accelerating. 22 dead, many missing after 17 inches of rain in Tennessee. Feds close 9 national forests as wildfires spread across NorCal. Air quality advisory issued for Monday due to wildfire smoke. 33-year-old man killed in Oakland crash. Biden planning to give an update on situation in Afghanistan. Don Everly of early rock and roll Everly Brothers dies at 84. Homicide investigation underway in Oakland. Hit-and-run traffic collision kills man in San Jose. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Naperville woman charged with stabbing fellow passenger in moving vehicle. Round Lake man killed in crash with truck on I-355. Glenview police looking for SUV in hit-and-run crash that killed Wheeling man. Aurora man, 27, killed in Naperville motorcycle crash. Body of man who fell from tube on Chino Lakes recovered. Former Aurora kindergarten teacher convicted of assaulting student. How McHenry County groups work to vaccinate the homeless. Arkush, Bears came out flat versus Bills, but why? Mask mandate inside suburban Cook County public places restarts Monday. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Got these, 24 must-have items every Seattleite needs to survive in the Emerald City. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 7.1 m, depth 14 km, in South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, August 22, 2021, 21:33 UTC, no people within 100 kilometers. Green alert for tropical cyclone Henri 21, population affected by category 1, 120 kilometers per hour, wind speeds or higher is 86,270. Green alert for tropical cyclone Henri 21, population affected by category 1, 120 kilometers per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.8 m, depth 16.16 km, in South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, August 22, 2021, 15:22 UTC, no people within 100 kilometers. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 6.8 m, depth 11 km, in South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, August 22, 2021, 0:45 UTC, no people within 100 kilometers. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay. Drought is ongoing in Armenia, Azerbaijan, Greece, Iraq, Iran, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Kenya, Somalia, Tanzania. Drought is ongoing in United States. Drought is ongoing in Burkina Faso, Benin, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Ghana, Niger, Nigeria. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Sunday, August 22nd in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Hottest stretch of summer weather before rain returns. Drivers attempt wrong-way path to avoid Southwest Freeway congestion. Matt Gaetz elopes to Catalina Island, marries girlfriend in small ceremony. U.S. Rep. Troy Nehls tests positive for COVID days after family member contracts virus. Man barricaded himself and 4 kids in house after shooting wife in argument over beer, HPD says. Safe walk home to kickoff event for Houston ISD students returning to school Monday. Biden says 11,000 flown from Kabul over weekend during Sunday speech. At least 22 dead, dozens missing in Tennessee after 17 inches of rain caused devastating flooding. Dawn Everly of early rock and roll Everly Brothers dies at 84. Woman gives birth aboard U.S. evacuation flight from Afghanistan. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Bez returns from injury, Lindor to follow for Mets. Barty makes short work of Teichmann in Cincinnati final. Naquin homers twice, Reds beat Marlins 3-1 to sweep series. Braves top Orioles 3-1 for Baltimore's 18th straight loss. Rays rout White Sox 9-0, take 2 of 3 in series, Archer hurt. Nordqvist's Women's Open win gets her into Solheim Cup. Keenum throws TD, Browns beat Giants in matchup of reserves. Hernandez strikes out 8, Royals batter Cubs 9-1. Analysis, civil discourse missing in Louisiana COVID debates. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Henri downgraded to tropical storm, heavy rains and wind gusts still expected. Photos, Central Park homecoming concert cut short and evacuated due to severe weather. Update, de Blasio urges New Yorkers to stay indoors during Hurricane Henri. Extra, Christopher Meloni's reaction to an odd request in Bushwick. Kathy Hochul to be sworn in as New York's first female governor early Tuesday. NYC public school students who want to play high-risk sports now require to be vaccinated. Grand jury indicts former NYPD officer on charges of murdering friend on Long Island. New Yorkers are exhausted by the pandemic, and that could make them less willing to stay safe. Photos, homecoming week hits Queens with DMC, $2 Howard, and George Clinton. City pledges to change policies investigating sexual misconduct in schools in settlement with students. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. From the field, extinguishing the practice of crop burning. Climate change and hunger in Madagascar, a UN resident coordinator blog. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Parents get coached on how to escape mask and vaccine rules. Winds threaten to fan destructive California wildfire. Congressman Barrymore, wife test positive for COVID-19. Kentucky Supreme Court reins in Governor Beshear's efforts to combat COVID-19. Biden sees dip in support amid new COVID cases, AP North Pole. Hurricane Henri, what to know as rare cyclone heads north. New Girl Scout cookie flavor will have chocolate lovers drooling. What does splurge mean? What are the black lines on a school bus for? Country singer Tom T. Hall dies, wrote Harper Valley PTA. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Giants season depends on these big money stars. Path over Broadway review, an enticing, uneven play. Stream it or skip it, Naked and Afraid of Love on Discovery Plus, where singles try to find love while surviving naked in the middle of nowhere. Endeavor staffers fume over IPO, saying it mainly enriched Wasari Emanuel. Letters to the editor, August 23, 2021. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Biden administration backs ending regulations protecting gray wolves. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. U.S. forces may stay in Afghanistan past August 31st deadline, Biden. Rachel Maddow and MSNBC reach multi-year deal to keep top-rated host at the network, report. Tropical storm Henri makes landfall on Rhode Island with winds of 60 miles per hour. VP Harris lands in Singapore amid Afghanistan crisis. Biden's approval rating drops amid twin crises at home and overseas. Trump devotees boo as the former president suggests vaccines in Alabama. Watch live, President Biden delivers remarks on Afghanistan evacuation, tropical storm Henri. White House still weighing more troops to Afghanistan, top official says. Henri danger isn't over once storm passes, FEMA says. Here's how to stay safe. Anti-mask states could face civil rights investigations, Education Secretary says. The following headlines are from military.com. Veterans are prized recruits as congressional candidates. British military, 7 Afghans killed in chaos at Kabul airport. Imbecilic, ex-UK leader Tony Blair slammed Afghan withdrawal. Pilot of World War II plane killed in crash at Pennsylvania airport. China both worries and hopes as U.S. departs Afghanistan. Vietnam calls on army for food delivery ahead of lockdown. In Kabul, a fearful wait for U.S. to deliver on evacuation vow. For U.S. military leaders, Afghan news strikes personal chord. First Afghanistan evacuees arrive at Ramstein Air Base. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Warrior moms send more than 50 youth to Great America Saturday as break away from Chicago violence. Body pulled from Fox Lake Sunday was the man who fell from a water tube Friday, fire officials say. 2 killed in shooting, crash on Eisenhower Expressway, state police say. Aurora man killed, second person hurt in motorcycle crash on Naperville's southwest side. Weekend shootings leave 3 dead, at least 20 wounded as of Saturday night, police say. 40 shot, 5 killed in Chicago in weekend gun violence through Sunday. Dawn Everly, half of Everly Brothers duo who scored huge hit with Bye Bye Love, dies at 84. Chicago weather, beware high waves, rip currents. Bronzeville mourns longtime community organizer killed at 65. Everything he did was about bringing people together. Reverend Jesse Jackson, wife Jacqueline hospitalized for COVID-19. The following headlines are from FIS.org. 17 inches of rain devastate rural Tennessee, at least 10 die. Tropical storm Henri hits Rhode Island on U.S. East Coast. Leak and destroy, on the hunt for climate-killing gas. Russian rocket launches 34 new UK satellites. Hurricane Henri bears down on U.S. East Coast. Sugars from human milk could help prevent infections in newborns. Making nylon 6-6 greener, and without zinc. Explainer, why it takes months to subdue some wildfires. Henri upgraded to hurricane as it threatens U.S. coast. Hurricane Grace leaves at least 8 dead in Mexico. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Sunday, August 22nd, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. The ignored history of nurse PTSD. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Nice Marseille's game halted after fan trouble. Cabrera hits 500th career homer, Tigers beat Jays 5-3 in 11. Analysis, expect more starters next week, and could the Seahawks consider re-signing KJ Wright? Storm shows it can win if Big Three have an off game and win against Mystics. COVID concerns have Cup drivers worried ahead of playoffs. Wheeler, Sykes helps Sparks hold off Liberty for 86-83 win. Fire destroys barn at Ellis Park in Kentucky, horses safe. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. Calm here, crazy there, effects vary widely as Henri weakens. Haitians return to quake-damaged churches, gangs offer aid. Governor Cuomo says storm won't stop his planned resignation. Crush at Kabul airport kills 7 as Afghans try to flee. A mixed box office weekend as Free Guy tops again. Bay Area TV Sports, what to watch on Monday Tuesday. SF Giants make several roster moves, Disclafani and Longoria hit injured list. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Islamic State poses threat as American troops evacuate civilians in Kabul, Biden says. Biden says Afghanistan evacuation situation improving. Anti-Taliban People's Uprising Forces seize territory in Afghanistan. Waverly, Tennessee flooding kills at least 22. House returns for $3.5 trillion vote despite Afghanistan meltdown. Biden to meet with G7 leaders on Afghanistan crisis. Antony Blinken contradicts Biden's assertion al-Qaeda gone from Afghanistan. Afghanistan refugees arrive in Texas for processing at Fort Bliss. Surgeon General Murphy defends school mask mandates, vaccine requirements. Mario Cuomo New York to finally part. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Banks are opting out of PPP loan forgiveness. The international response to the Taliban's ascent will shape Afghans' fate. Anand Gopal and Richard Ojeda on Afghanistan. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Kinzinger on Biden's Afghan pullout, I think the execution has been extremely disastrous. President Joe Biden says U.S.-led evacuation from Kabul is accelerating. Cubs set franchise record with 13th straight loss at home. Should Apple be allowed to rummage through the photos on your phone? Kimbrel and La Russa talk it out, move on. With Bears up in 6 days, Titans coach tests positive for coronavirus. William Richtenwold, dogged investigative journalist who went undercover for Sometimes Mirage Tavern series, dies at 79. Run to remember honoring fallen, injured cops offers morale boost for Reeling Police Department. Patriots only in a nation of one. As search for new CPS CEO progresses, 2 names emerge. The next headlines are from the Times of India. India's Rahul Rajasekharan wins Mr. Supranational Asia. Big Boss Out, Ridhima Pandit and Karan Nath get eliminated. Stick to giving advice, Amarinder slams Sidhu's advisors. Long jumper Shaylee settles for silver in U20 Worlds. Pentagon commandeers commercial jets for airlift in Kabul. Haryana Home Minister Anilovich hospitalized. Afghan evacuees recount harrowing Taliban experience. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Sunday, August 22, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are about world records making news. Balloon Fiesta sets Guinness World Record, Cobb. Jamaica's girls set 4x100 World U20 record on final day as country end championships with 11 medals, Sportsmax TV. Quillen, a candidate for Guinness World Record, Isle. Julius Maddox attempts to break bench press world record, Newsweek. Say 4x100 relay team break world record at U20 World Champs, News 24. Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah runs second fastest women's 100 MOF all-time, CNN. Environmentalist attempts world record swim around the Isle of Wight, ITV News. Smith, record-size fish are the stuff of dreams but sometimes they're also cautionary tales, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority achieves new Guinness World Record, Gulf News. Final Fantasy XIII 40-hour stream breaks gaming marathon world record, The Gamer. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. The Dungeons & Dragons film has wrapped production. Facebook releases shelf transparency report on its most popular posts. Black Canary solo film finally coming to the DC cinematic universe. Trump's border wall torn apart by Arizona monsoon rains. Kevin Feige in no rush to make another Avengers movie. Green Lantern Corps actor Finn Wittrock thinks new series will be epic. Henri strengthens to a hurricane as it closes in on New England. Netflix Magic, The Gathering animated series hires Jeff Kline to replace Russo Brothers. Candyman director Nia DaCosta launches the Tell Everyone initiative. Go on a panoramic video tour of Mars with a Curiosity rover. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Mitrba in Kuwait at 118.94 degrees Fahrenheit or 48.3 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Concordia in Antarctica at minus 95.98 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 71.1 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Intrepid brewer risks scalding to recreate recipe for long-lost medieval mead. Tiong Bar Social Club Review, won't you be my algorithmic neighbor? Looking for a new job in tech? It may be your lucky day. Hydrogen lobbyist quits, slams oil company's false claims about blue hydrogen. On Roblox, kids learn it's hard to earn money making games. Now that machines can learn, can they unlearn? The following headlines are from Raw Story. Disgusting, Jim Acosta snaps at Daryl Issa after he defends sexist jokes about women. Trump officials are playing fast and loose with their history on Afghanistan, CNN fact check. Florida parents set to battle run DeSantis anti-mask mandate in hearings on Monday. Mike Lindell, still in Trump's good graces, has new prediction, reinstatement by New Year's. Monsoon rain has torn apart Trump's border wall. Top Wisconsin GOP traveled with Trump to Alabama to discuss review of 2020 election results, report. Where are the adults? Mary Trump calls out GOP for letting her uncle continue to endanger the public. CNN scolded on live TV for over-the-top Afghanistan coverage. 5,000 people died of COVID in this country. Here is how Trump is trying to raise cash as he faces a mountain of debt. Kevin McCarthy slammed by ex-GOP aide for shameful attempt to link voting rights to Afghanistan. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Pentagon orders airlines to help evacuate people fleeing Afghanistan. Tropical storm Henri bears down on New England, me. Donald Trump encouraged people at his rally to get vaccinated. They booed him. The airlift from Afghanistan is continuing, amid threats and widespread criticism. CDC Director dings Hannity for false vaccine claim. Capitol riot charges against an InfoWars host could spell trouble for Alex Jones. Gig company's ballot measure was just ruled unconstitutional in California. Scientists blindsided by rain at the summit of Greenland's ice cap. The perils of magical environmental thinking. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. The 50 best alien movies of all time. Movies. Southern.com, The Southern. Father constructs 40-foot rocket for his UMD-bound daughter Ali Bayer, Bemidji pioneer. Would discovery of aliens affect creator debate? Arkansas Online. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Ancestral psychedelic therapy using ayahuasca, benzinga. Aptonix, APTX, gains 5.43% on strong volume August 20th, equities.com. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Sunday, August 22nd, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Center for UFO Studies, see UFOs, new digitization project. Senator Barry Goldwater believes aliens are visiting Earth, 1973. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News I8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News I8. All rights reserved.